It's a pity for Archie and Lily to be separated from the British royal family. Just because of Harry and Meghan's ambitions, the two children have suffered many disadvantages. They seem to have lost benefits and missed many British royal events. It is impossible to imagine where their fate will go when they have such domineering and advantageous parents. And welcome back to my channel, dear friend. I love the British royal family, and today, please join me in analyzing the interesting topic I just mentioned above. I hope the information I bring will be useful to you. Now, let's go deeper into the details. Perhaps Prince Harry and Meghan caused their children to have a boring life by not allowing their children to be present at British royal events. Meghan refused to let Archie and Lily attend the coronation and was busy celebrating his 4th birthday in California. Doesn't look like their parents care that they are setting the kids up for heartache down the road as long as they get their way is their only agenda. They both have issues with seeing a bigger picture and just worry about slights against them not seeing that they are the issue in most of the situations they whine about. It reminds me of when the Queen asked Archie what he wanted for Christmas, and they said a waffle maker said it all. They held the Queen in such disdain and had such a sense of self-importance that instead of asking for a gift from the Queen of England he could cherish forever, he got some stupid kitchen appliance. Yup, these parents are truly awful, isolating the two children from all their grandparents, great-grandparents, cousins, uncles, and aunts. They are losing their heritage, won't grow up with their cousins, and will not forge the close bonds that would bring, so they will forever be outsiders. Harry is such a nasty piece of work criticizing his parents' parenting of him when he is the worst parent ever. Archie and Lily will know nothing about living like real royals, about their role in promoting the United Kingdom, or understanding how the royal family works towards their people. They will grow up and be greedy for more money. So sad. In my view, they need to be in the UK with their parents who are working royals, or be removed from the line of succession. Keep in mind, this isn't just about these kids missing out on the royal connection. These children have no contact with anyone on either side of the family, courtesy of their mother, because BC, let's be real, she's the reason for the disconnect of both families. I'm genuinely curious about what social contact they have with anyone, period. Aside from Netflix cameras and magazine interviews, it would appear these kids don't have contact with other children or other people. It's so sketchy. This is so heartbreaking. Typical narcissists want total control and don't want to share their children's love with anyone else. They also believe that they are all their children need, and being denied love from a grandparent is just so sad. This breaks my heart. I suddenly had this vivid picture in my head about those two eventually choosing to be a part of the family and how lost, confused, and awkward that first meeting would be. Those children could even grow up not knowing all of what we are discussing. Lies about why they don't visit or belong will be a possibility. Having those children was about ensuring her connection to Harry. Nothing more, nothing less. It meant no matter what, she would be financially taken care of. I genuinely believe that was her driving motivation. I feel sad for these children, but also very angry for them. According to most accounts, they are fairly isolated. This is tremendously detrimental to a child's mental development. It does not bode well for their future mental health. Add to that, their parents' problems. Where do these children get to experience normal? I must say, it is quite endearing seeing Charles, the grandfather. As someone whose grandfather was a huge of my life, I feel bad for the Sussex children. Both my parents are narcs, so it was my grandparents, mostly granddaddy though, because he was the one who did most of the mothering and provided me with the love and acceptance I needed. Those poor children will not have that, and that breaks my heart for them. I agree with all you've said. Here is the issue. The children are being raised by two mentally unstable parents. A normal life is honestly not likely at this point. Additionally, they are very young. With that said, let us hope their young lives improve soon before too much damage is done. A more terrifying and restrictive thing for children is that they are never allowed to film in public. It was as if they were being held hostage in the Montecito compound. Archie was seen with Meghan a few times when he was younger, but Lily was not. It makes you wonder how sad life would be for those children. Even the most private actors in Hollywood have their photos leaked when going out with their children. It makes me believe that these children are segregated from other children. Harry, for all his talk about breaking the cycle and being there for his children again, makes him look like a lying hypocrite. If rumors are to be believed, he is living alone in San Francisco in an apartment owned by Better Up. Honestly, it doesn't look like devoted, loving parents. What a shame. There's a very small group that will truly understand the history that comes with being part of the royal family, even if not a working royal. They are denying their kids important lifelong bonds. The reason people feel a connection and are invested in members of the royal family and celebrities is because they saw them grow up and mature. As the public ages, they see the children of the royal family grow too, and when they mess up as teens and young adults, there is more tolerance. But Archie and Lilibet won't have that. All they'll have is the media of the times rehashing all the crap their parents did and didn't do. Keeping them so isolated is the weirdest thing I've ever seen from the RF. We never see them unless it's a prearranged photo op, and some of them have been photoshopped, like the one of Archie holding the basket collecting chicken eggs. He had two left hands. In our boring average lives, our kids go to the park, shopping, doctor appointments, school. Yet these two kids are kept away from everyone. Otherwise, there would have been at least one sneaky candid pic from a passerby or photographer with a decent lens. It's like they're kept in a compound and everything comes to them, or they're smuggled out in the back of a car. It's so strange. I'm sure Harry and Meghan don't want children. The only reason she had them was to control Harry and make money. The nanny takes care of them, and I think Harry will pay attention to them. But otherwise, they are locked up and only come out when there is a trading opportunity. Maybe being the child of a narcissist is very difficult. They were eventually completely isolated from their families. Even if the children have access to extended family, if the narcissist notices that the children are developing great love for another family member, they will cause division between them. In addition, these two anarchic parents will also compete for their children's affection. Not only are these children sad and lonely, but they will later need a lot of therapy. Luckily, they will be rich because at least they don't have to worry about keeping a roof over their heads while they battle their inner and psychological demons. I feel sorry for Archie and Lily. Not just because they're missing out on historical events, but more so because they're missing out on having family on both sides. They have two grandfathers, one of whom they've never seen, aunts and uncles, and several cousins they don't know. It's got to be a lonely, sad existence for the kids who only see one grandmother and their parents. It's a very sad existence for children who have everything but family. I grew up as an only child, but I had grandparents, uncles, aunts, and 39 first cousins to hang with. It was wonderful having that extended family, and 60 years later, we're still in close contact. Not only did they separate the children from their families, but Archie and Lily were also exploited for their image by their parents. It's surprising to see Meghan blatantly exploiting her children in the press to further her ridiculous pity jokes. What a shame. I feel sorry for those kids if they exist. They are being set up for a life of bullying and taunting. You're not a real prince or princess. You don't even know your family. People don't believe you were born from your mother's body. You don't have a signed birth certificate. Your parents use you for business. Imagine these kids exist, and they are growing up watching their parents using child model substitutes and photoshopped images for publicity, releasing blurred Christmas cards, staging family scenes, and expecting you to fake smiles for the camera. Has Archie already had a fake for the birthday party photo shoot to provide images all edited and ready to upstage the coronation? And did Lily have to do the same for the Jubilee? How much would this mess with your head growing up? She only had the kids so she could merch them and always be tied to the royal family through them. I feel for them and think they won't understand why they aren't in any of the history books about the coronation, and not knowing their cousins and aunts and uncles. With a mother like Meghan, they are going to need as much support as they can get. I remember back in the day, most of you in Sussex were complaining about how dare they choose Archie's birthday for the coronation, like other people's schedules didn't matter. But now I agree with you, saving face for the Sussexes may be a factor. But birthdays can be celebrated on another day without having to refuse to attend the coronation ceremony, right? That's sad because these are moments that you cherish for a lifetime. Even if it wasn't his birthday, these are days when you want to stay by your family's side, building memory. It's not just a thing in a royal family. When a relative goes through a wonderful moment, you want to be with them, because that's what family is about. That's kind of sad, and that is why it's just selfish, because they could go with Harry, and he doesn't have to talk to anyone. But they have grandparents, and they deserve to spend time with them, even if their parents are salty. Grandparents are not eternal, and childhood goes by very fast. Their kids are going to miss a major part of childhood, staying with cousins and uncles. They were lucky enough to be born royal, and with a big family, they could have so much love. They kept them not only from their paternal extended family, but also from their maternal extended family, except their grandmothers.
So, besides a grandmother, they do not know their grandfather, grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins.
I understand that in modern America, families are often geographically far apart, and there are sometimes relationship difficulties. But Meghan and Harry have taken it to the extreme. Archie and Lilibet are not just missing out on the heritage of their father's side, but also on their mother's side. Meghan has aunts, uncles, and cousins that she is denying her kids to know, including, of course, her kids knowing her father and siblings. It's very sad to have no family connections at all. I can't even imagine not growing up with my cousins who were my first best friends, all my aunties and uncles, and both sets of grandparents. Sleeping over at my cousin's house and all the fun we had, and as adults we still stay in touch. Christmas and birthdays, Easter, 4th of July cookouts and fireworks with a big bonfire, getting in trouble, all of it. It is sad. Look, I believe if they had brought out those kids from day one, they wouldn't have such a horrible reputation. They are seen as sneaky with those kids, and the rumors surrounding them have caused Meghan the most damage. We have never seen them out as a family, and Archie looks different every time we see him. Her father and those kids being left at home are the two biggest reasons they are reviled. They can never do anything and it not be a shit show. It's ridiculous. I remembered the pictures from Archie's 1st birthday, and Harry, his wife, and Doria were the only ones there. Having a very large family but not having anyone there is very sad. I bet the kids won't be happy with their parents when they grow up. Harry thinks he is protecting his children, but is harming them. There is a very large family across the pond, and a lot of family here in the States. Those children will be cheated out of the warmth and protection of their extended family. My view is that the coronation is a once-in-a-lifetime event for almost every citizen of the British Commonwealth and much of the world. To deprive their grandparents of Prince Archie and Princess Lily is a sin, but to deprive the Lord of this majestic coronation, the blessing of the Church and the sacred act of accepting the crown for the people, is a sin, sacrilege for their pettiness. As always, I agree with what you have said. I'm not quite sure what the syllabuses are like in your history education over in the US. Can you imagine Archie and or Lily being in school in history? The British royal family is being discussed, and they know absolutely nothing about it other than the lies and vitriol that their parents have drip-fed them. How humiliating will that be for the young prince and princess? The only people they will have to blame are their parents. Harry and Meghan are the ones who have fostered a toxic extended family relationship. Imagine if they'd gone off quietly and truly lived their own independent lives. None of their half and half-out demands followed by very personal public attacks with the docu-series and Spare. I don't see how any of the family get-togethers could be comfortable now. Harry and Meghan have put the kibosh on that. Princess Anne, just 2 years old, was on the balcony. Charles was extremely depressed. Introducing Archie and Lilibet sitting quietly in Westminster Abbey wouldn't have helped, but having them watch the procession and parade from Buckingham Palace would be quite memorable. There's no reason why Harry and his 2 nannies can't go to London with Archie and Lily. It's even fine if Meghan doesn't have to attend if her kids aren't there. There is also the factor that very few people in the world can understand the circumstances into which they were born. I also said this about Harry being away from his family. There are very few people in the world who can truly identify with being born a prince or princess, and most of those people are in their own family. Archie and Lily are completely cut off from there. This is what I want to talk about today. It's a pity for Archie and Lily that they have to live a life isolated from the outside world and their own family. Having a toxic father and mother is not easy for a child's natural development. Hopefully, in the future, they will not become like their parents. How about you? What do you think about the news I brought today? Please let me know your opinion in the comments section. Thank you very much for listening until now. See you in the next videos.